everybody, and welcome back to Movie and a Han. I'm RJ.
And I'm Paige.
I almost just said I'm Paige, by the way. I don't know why. And today we're going to be talking about 2013's, I think. You're next.
For some reason, I saw like 2011 and then 2013 sometimes.
I think it's because I read up. This movie was put on the shelf for 2 years by Lionsgate.
Oh, okay.
So it was probably filmed in 2011. But Lionsgate, in the trailer, they're kind of the bottom half at the end said 2013 Lionsgate. So.
Okay. All right.
But before we get into the movie, let's talk about this trailer. I'll go first this time because I have just a simple opinion. If I ever told a person to watch this movie, I would never tell them to watch the trailer.
Elaborate.
The trailer can't do the big reveal.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, this movie's about a bad bitch.
Yeah, it truly is about the bad bitch.
I think probably Lionsgate was just like, it's going to be marketed as a horror. We can't really show it's more of a dark comedy than a horror. So we're going to have to market this as like very stereotypical horror. This movie isn't. And I feel like when I watched the trailer, part of me was just like, man, if I saw the trailer first, I wouldn't want to watch this movie.
I think them trying to downplay what the movie's actually about is its downfall then. Because I went and saw the movie and then I saw the trailer, obviously. The trailer makes me think, oh, it's just another generic horror film. I'll catch it at some point. But then, watching it, I'm like, oh, this is different. And so you get two different feels of the movie. So
yeah. I think this continues. I want to see, by the time we're done with home invasions, if one movie breaks the trend where I firmly believe trailers aren't really good for home invasion movies.
yeah.
Like, they really don't do it service.
Well, it's basic, right? Like, you're home, either alone or in a strange area or whatever, and someone's trying to get in and hurt you. It's the same plot, just told in many different ways.
Yeah. False. There's going to be one trailer I know that's going to break the trend.
Oh, good.
It's because that trailer goes in. It's like, the call is coming from inside the house.
Yeah.
That's the only trailer, and it's because that movie's so bad.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I feel like our beginnings of these episodes are going to be very bland because it's like, it's a trailer. The movie's a lot better than it.
Yeah, believe us, it's a lot better. So,
all right,
you want to get into it?
I feel like this is probably going to be a longer episode anyway because of how much happens. So let's just get into the movie.
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right. The film opens with a couple, Talia and Eric Harson. Oh, they're married, having sex.
Oh.
I remember that the movie started and you're like, oh, we're just getting right to it.
Yeah, it was very just, oh, okay, the movie, the intro is coming, the companies that made the film, and then it's just like, bam, right into it. I'm like, oh, okay.
Afterwards, Talia walks around the house, not noticing the motion sensor light outside had turned on. So, before we get into that, let's just see how... I have a question. Was she underwhelmed, or was she just whelmed by the sex?
Underwhelmed.
Because it finished. He was like, yeah. And she was just like...
She was underwhelmed, please.
I know. It was just like... good for you.
Yep.
I guess.
I'm going to go make myself a vodka and orange juice.
Was it vodka?
Yeah, vodka and orange juice.
And then he's going to go take a shower with his one earring on.
Yeah. Oh, and he did the thing where he's washing his hair facing the shower.
Oh, facing down.
I don't know.
It's going to get all over the place. It's a lot. That shit would give me anxiety. I'd be like, it's so much water.
In
it's
your
so
eyes,
much like
in
suds.
your face.
And then the suds get in your ear and they just
yeah, the correctly.
And he has long hair too, so it's like
ugh, whatever. But she did notice the motion sensors.
I don't know if she noticed that they went on. I think that she more or less just had a feeling someone was watching.
Okay.
After a shower, Eric finds "You're next" written on the window in Talia's blood, whose body is lying dead on the ground. An attacker wearing a lamb mask attacks Eric and kills him with a machete. Also, this is where we get the really annoying... okay, I know some people, I looked online, some people loved the song and they thought it was really catchy and shit. The song annoyed the shit out of me.
Yeah, especially since we have to listen to it on repeat. It wasn't something that I would listen to once. So on repeat, I'm like, no, I'm good.
And then we get title card.
Yeah.
Erin accompanies her boyfriend, Crispin Davison. Ugh,
Crispin Davidson.
David, Davison.
Oh, excuse me.
Davison. Also, this spells it Crispin, and if you actually paid attention to the end credits, his name is Crispian.
Of course it is.
Crispin.
Crispin.
He sounds like something that's a character who belongs in a Shrek movie. To his family reunion at their vacation home in rural Missouri. So, did we not get... we skipped the family getting there, like the mom and dad arriving, because it was mom and dad arrive, and then it shows the two of them driving there.
I thought it was they're driving there, and then while they're driving... No. We do get introduced to them first, because then Erin is like, hey, we should get some liquor, and he's like, yeah, you're right. And then we get to then we see mom and dad get there.
No, mom and dad get there first.
Okay.
Either way, it's in an order. I'm reading I just read the next line anyway. It doesn't get into when they get there anyway.
Okay.
So we can get into it. First things first. Why is every one of these movies in the middle of buttfuck nowhere so far?
Because that's scary. You're cut off from civilization. You're cut off from anyone near you. So you're truly alone out there.
True, but okay, so far I would admit Vacancy is probably the most dumb of them all. Just because no one in their right mind stays at a middle of nowhere hotel. That's a red flag.
Oh, yeah.
This one, I guess it kind of makes sense because the family owns the place.
Yeah.
It's not like The Strangers where it's like, let's go to my parents' place.
For our failed proposal night in.
Oofy. But they get there. First things first. Mom, not a mom.
Nope. These are grown ass men and daughter that they have, like, in their 30s. The mom looks 45.
Yeah,
maybe.
She does not look like a proper aged mother for these children.
Yeah.
The father looks correct.
Yes.
The mom does not.
Yes.
But we also get the introduction to the house. The first reaction to the house was, holy shit.
Yeah, because we passed the neighbor's house, which is, fine. It's a nice house. And then we get their house, and it's not a house. It's a mansion.
It's a ranch.
It reminded me of the house from Knives
Out.
Yeah, Knives Out. Yeah, it looked very similar.
Fun fact, this movie was somewhat inspired by Agatha Christie novels.
Oh, easily. You could tell that for sure.
So I bet you they were probably looking for like an Agatha Christie styled house.
Oh, yeah.
Present are Crispin's parents, Aubrey and Paul. I mean, she has a mother's name.
That's true.
Crispin's older brother Drake and his wife Kelly, Crispin's younger siblings Felix and Amy, and their partners Z and Tariq, respectively. Okay, let's go to the family.
Sure.
This is it. This is our we always have that one thing per episode that we get to really delve into. Now we got two this episode. We have the family, and then we have bad bitch moments.
Oh yeah.
Okay, this family. Have we met a wider family so far? Not even this season, just in general, like in the entire show.
I'm gonna say no.
This was
they're
so white.
They're straight out of like a Purge movie. Right?
You're not wrong. There's there's off-brand Michael C. Hall.
Yep, off-brand Michael C. Hall is Drake.
Kelly is, when you think of like stereotypical, okay, first of all, Drake looks like he just came from purging.
Oh yeah.
His wife looks they look like they casted his wife perfectly because it looks like she would be with someone like him.
Mm-hmm. And they're so nasty the entire movie. Like,
Oh, they are.
when they get there or whatever, Erin's talking to them in the morning, and it seems like a very pleasant conversation. She's not acting weird. And then when Drake and what's her name, Kelly,
Kelly.
are alone, Kelly's like, "Oh, she's so weird. She seems like a weird bitch." And I'm like, "Where did
She
this
has
come
an
from?"
accent that's not natural.
I'm just like, "What the fuck?"
I just love how she's just like her accent. She has an accent. I'm like, oh yeah, because accents are totally not natural. Girl.
Oh yeah, it's not like she lived in Australia until she was 15. She said, "Fuck off."
And then but like no, like yeah, everyone should sound American.
Yeah.
And then there's, oh god, Felix and Z.
Yeah.
He's like, this is Z. She's like smoking a cigarette with 2 E's. It's like, okay, we get it. Her name's Mackenzie, probably, and she's probably just like, I'm different.
Yeah.
I'm quirky.
I have the bob black hair and thick eyeliner, and I look like a knockoff Emma Stone. That's basically it.
I listen to My Chemical Romance on the daily.
Unironically.
Unironically. Amy's emotional. That's her character. She's just incredibly emotional.
Straight up.
And Tariq is known as it's Ty West, so it's just the really good director who's probably the most well known out of everyone in this movie now.
Mm-hmm.
And he dies really quickly, but that's also probably because he's like, I have a movie to go film, yo.
Oh yeah.
But I think Erin's in a what's his name movie, in a Step Up movie.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
It makes sense. Can't you see her and Channing Tatum like doing whatever they did in Step Up?
Yeah, kind
of. During dinner, someone shoots crossbow bolts through the window. One which hits Tariq in the head and kills him. Another wounding Drake.
Can we talk about how annoying the dinner conversations were?
God.
And how absolutely immature it was? I mean, I get it. Families have drama and families yell at each other.
But it seems like on brand for this family.
But the way they were yelling at each other was very awkward. It didn't seem genuine.
I mean, I think I mentioned while we were watching it that part of these things that maybe didn't feel genuine was because some of these conversations were full on improvised for the dinner scene. Now, I will say, if you wanted me to feel sad when Drake died, you probably should have skipped the dinner scene.
Oh, 100%. Not even just the dinner scene. He was just an asshole the entire time.
Entire movie. Like, the whole commercial documentary conversation, I was, like, beating my head on my chair.
Oh, my God. I was like, can we just fast forward this? And then they were like, oh, you're jealous, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I really...
I mean, okay, Drake has a good point. Crispin's, like, 40. He's going gray.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, yeah, she was my TA. Erin was my TA. And then she said it's probably unprofessional, so she quit.
Yeah.
Which means he was cool with it.
Of course he was, because he initiated it.
He's so cool. Also, I love how we watched this movie. The first thing we both said, like, I think I mentioned it, and you were like, I'm thinking the same thing, was he's not ugly, but he's not cute either.
He's the most Wonder Bread of, like, a quote-unquote main character that we've seen.
He had enough character points to get a tattoo on him, like a small tattoo on him. That was all he had.
And
I'm like, if you were like with a Kelly, it makes sense.
Oh yeah,
like,
but
Kelly's fall for you, Crispin.
Not with our bad bitch.
Not Erin.
Yeah.
Erin doesn't make sense.
No, not at all. She's too good.
She's too good. She's too bad bitch.
Oh yeah.
I feel like you did not remember her name only because the entire movie was, here we go, bad bitch moment.
That's it. That's all I was saying. Oh, here comes bad bitch.
But yeah, Tariq gets shot in the head.
Yeah, that was fast and abrupt.
It was. And then Drake just gets like shot in the shoulder blade.
Yeah.
I guess.
Now, I want to point it out real quick. I'll just do it now because I kind of forget when the slow motion happens. I'm not a fan of slow-mo in films usually, especially horror films. It's not needed. I really like the action and like the kills to be really fast. I think that's a lot more jarring and interesting to me. But the moments that they do use the slow-mo in this, I really, really liked. And this was one of them. When everyone at the dinner table is just starting to see what happened, that was a nice tension builder.
I think it's because if you were to imagine in real life, when things go kind of like quote unquote slow mo for you as a person, these are the moments in which every moment so far, besides the comedic moment that follows, those are moments where I think you would start to become a little bit hyper focused, and so things would move like slower for you.
Right.
So the fact that this is a moment slow mo happens, it makes sense because in real life, it's sudden, but for the people realizing it, it's going slow.
Oh yeah, and that's a great point. There's another moment when one of the attackers has Erin on her back, and he's going to attack her with like an axe mallet thing, and that moment is slow mo. That I can understand exactly what you were saying.
Yeah, I think that's the peak moment. Like that's her realizing the situation, her focusing, and her looking for her time to attack. But also, here's the thing. In other movies we've watched in the past, I'm gonna take the Final Girls out of this because Final Girls did comedic slow mo.
It was commenting on what I'm saying.
Yeah. There was still active fluid movement throughout all these slow mo sessions.
Yes.
If it was just the eyes or the heads or with like the attack later on, he's constantly moving, she's constantly moving. In all the movies we've had slow mo in the past, it kills the fluidity and the motion of what that scene is going through.
Because they stay static. I 100% understand that. This is well done and well understood use of that type of camera shot.
It also looks like it wasn't post.
Yes, when it's post, you can tell. You can tell when it's post. They're like, oh, maybe we should have did slow-mo here. But when you get the camera that actually does the slow-mo, yeah, it's a lot of money. But it fucking pays off. It looks good.
I mean, I'm going to give this movie, but before we continue on, I'm going to give this movie a lot of credit. This movie had a $1 million budget.
That's like chump change so you guys know.
I mean, Vacancy had, I think, what was it, 6 or 9 mil?
And that looked like a goddamn student film, remember?
It did. But I will say, even if I compare this to The Strangers, it's like this was better budgeted than The Strangers. With effects, with set pieces, like everything was just you can tell they paid a lot of attention to how they used their budget.
Which is interesting. You said basically they didn't have a script until the killing started. So where we are right now.
Some was improvised. They had a script for. It looks like they had a script for some.
Loose
improvised
script.
For other.
Right.
Kind of loosey.
So it seemed like they had a plan, or at least knew what direction they wanted to go, and they were like, okay, to get to from A to B, we need to make sure we hit these points. So it's evident. But that's you
can tell there's a lot of set pieces once it gets going. Like they're like, we know what we're doing with this stuff. But also it needs like those set pieces need to be planned because that's where the budget's going into, all the special effects.
Right.
And also the script got a lot cleaner when the attacks start happening. The survivors discover that their cell phone reception has been jammed. Amy runs outside. Oh yes. Amy runs outside for help, but runs into a wire which slices her throat, killing her.
Real quick. So, is it Felix? Okay, this was a very awkward moment. I don't know if we were supposed to, spoiler alert, know that he's in on these killings, but he just says, "Oh, it must be a cell jammer. You know, you can get one of those for $30." And everyone's like, "What the fuck?" That was weird to me.
It was weird, but he does come across like the odd one out of the family.
That's true.
This is where we get the first like Erin's like, everyone take a chair.
Yeah, that was so smart.
She was the only one keeping everyone together.
Yep.
Oh right, the mom was gonna get shot. That's how Drake gets shot. I was trying to think how Drake got shot again. And then we get like, they're like, oh, let's run to the car. And Erin's like, probably shouldn't. Let's bring it out there. Probably shouldn't. And then freaking, is it Amy? Yeah, Amy is just like, Aimee? Ew.
Yeah.
Amy's like, they never let me participate. And I'm like, is this what we're going through right now?
Like, we're having this conversation right now. This is appropriate. Please. And then they all fucking start yelling at each other in the hallway.
Each other. And then, what is it? Like, Kelly is helping, Erin's with Kelly and,
Drake.
Drake.
Well,
and Drake is like, I need drugs.
Yeah. But what's interesting is that with the running, Crispin was like, oh, I'm the fastest. I should go. And I'm like, are you? Who? No, you're not.
I think once you know the ending, he was just looking for his way to get out.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But Amy's like, I can do it. I can run. And then she says like a line. I don't remember the line. But it was like how fast she can run a mile. And then we get probably the comedic use of slow-mo.
Yes.
Because it's like building towards this giant anticipation moment. Like, yeah, she's going to do it.
And then we go right back to normal speed and right in the neck.
I like how you even knew, though, what was going to happen. You're like, she's going to get shot, isn't she?
Yeah, I was like, oh, this slow-mo definitely indicates that something's going to happen. But I did not expect a wire right outside that door.
It kills her. And mommy is...
distraught.
Here's the thing. They mention earlier in the movie that the mom has some sort of PTSD or something, some sort of trauma that she is currently dealing with. It's kind of hinted at when she's outside alone when she hears the footsteps at the beginning of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it does make sense though, like how Crispin like made sure his dad didn't open the door earlier in the movie.
Yeah,
that's where
true.
he was housed. And so, an already distraught woman is now even more distraught.
Yeah, she just lost her child in a very brutal way.
And she had to watch it.
Yes.
Like, it wasn't like just like mentioned.
Like her daughter was literally bleeding out in front of her. I do
Yes.
want to say the grieving of both of the parents were very well acted. Like, it felt very genuine.
Like I said, their script had to be really loose for the first like 20 minutes of this movie, because once the script kind of got going and you can tell they knew where they were going with everything, everyone was really able to hit their beats. It just looked like there were moments where they were improvising where they were just confused.
And it's very, very evident when that happened, because I was like, we get introduced to the characters. I'm like, okay, cool. And then there were points where I was like, why is the acting so bad? Like, it was like telenovela bad. Not, telenovelas aren't bad. It's just extremely dramatic and over-enhanced.
It's noticeably different. That's the issue.
Thank you.
Is that there's a noticeable shift.
Yes.
Erin is briefly attacked by Tiger Mask in the kitchen, but she fights him off as he escapes through the kitchen door. Bitch, she stabs him in the hand.
Yes. So this was awesome. So Erin is like, okay, after the girl got her neck sliced, she's like, she takes a moment. You could see she's like, oh, fuck, like this is happening. And then she's like, okay, we need to lock all the doors, all the windows. So she's going around doing that. She's in the kitchen. She's getting some weapons. And as she's walking by the window in the kitchen, the arm comes and grabs her hair.
Well, she wasn't getting weapons. Remember, she pulled the weapon with her when she was running with the chair.
Oh, correct. Yes.
She was locking the kitchen windows, though,
right
at this moment.
And then the arm comes through and gets her. But she fucking takes that knife and right in the forearm, gets it right into the window pane. Ooh.
I also love how in this movie, like, usually in every movie, it's like, the final girl finally gets that knife.
At the end.
Or she finally gets that one weapon.
Yes.
And for Erin, it's like, okay, so see, she starts with a knife, and then gets a meat cleaver, and then gets a meat beater, and then gets a full-blown fucking axe.
It's like, when you're playing like a shooter game, and like it's like you level up from like 1 to 10 and you progressively get better weapons. That's basically what happens.
That's like this time we've like it's not like the final girl gets her one weapon. It's like the final girl is evolving.
Yes.
As this movie continues.
Yes.
And then like even then she's like, and I got my traps perk.
Yeah. Yeah, my traps perk.
Even though I will say when you see when you know the ending, you kind of understand why Crispin's like fucking terrified.
Oh, you
when
could
she's
see
like
it.
Windows this, and he's like, what the fuck am I dating?
Yeah, he has absolutely no idea. She says it later that she hasn't told Crispin that, you know, her story that we'll learn about later.
I just also find it funny that Crispin's just like, it's like, yeah, Crispin, sorry to tell you this, but you brought a bad bitch to a slaughterhouse.
Wild card, motherfucker.
She's the ultimate wild card. And I even love it later where they're like, we're sure Crispin's fine. She's like, he's a pussy.
Yeah, that's literally what she says, and I'm like, oh shit, girl.
I think there's like, he's brave, you know, he can take care of himself, and she's like, no, he can't.
She straight up is deadpan. She says, no, he can't. That's right after. That's right
though.
after she kills this guy.
Yeah, she kills Tiger Mask goes first. I think.
Yes.
It goes Tiger Mask, then Sheep Mask, then Fox Mask.
Yeah.
Paul puts Aubrey to bed, but the intruder wearing a fox mask, who was hiding under the bed, butchers Aubrey with a machete, leaving the words "You're next" in blood on the wall. Now, I like how when this scene happened, you were like, you know, it'd be so creepy if someone crawled out of that chest right now.
Yeah, there was a chest right in front of the bed. I'm like, ooh, that would be really creepy.
You were off by like 5 inches.
But the vibe that I got from seeing the hand come out of under the bed, very Strangers.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. I also like how they lit it so that you can just make out that something just came out of underneath that bed, but it wasn't like spotlight where the hand will be.
Exactly.
That's what Vacancy would have done.
Yep.
And then she dies, and I feel so bad for Mommy.
Me too. I really did.
She's the one sympathetic character this movie has.
Mm-hmm. Even
besides Erin.
And the dad. I think the dad, I felt the same way for him.
I feel it less so. Just because you can kind of tell the dad kind of shared some similar personality traits to the shitty children.
Oh, of course.
And Amy kind of shared more similar personality traits with her mom.
Yeah. They're both very emotional characters.
Yes. And this is when everyone freaks out, and this is when also the dad finally starts to be allowed to act.
Yeah. Very well done, too.
Oh, yeah, Kelly discovers Fox Mask, panics and flees the house, going to Eric's nearby house. This scene's actually a decent jump scare if you do not know what's going to happen.
Yes, if you didn't see the trailer.
Yeah, but that's the thing, is this was such a trailer shot. Like, you can tell this was one of those shots they were like, we need good trailer shots. This is one of them. Also, back to Eric's house. We forgot to mention something before. Erin's outfit.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about it. We always talk about the final girl's outfit.
How you initially were like, I don't like it. And then it grew on you. The more and more it was on camera.
It
like,
did.
You know what?
She's wearing a tank top, and then she's wearing a flannel, and then she's wearing a cardigan on top. And I'm like, that's a lot of very thin layers. I feel like if she was wearing the tank top, the flannel, and like a jacket, I'd accept it more.
True, but like it was like, okay, would you rather her be wearing a jacket with sandals or her giant fucking combat boots with a cardigan?
Facts. And I kind of get it too, because she wasn't planning on being outside or anything like that. She's just like in the house that has heat and the fireplace. So she's just putting a little something on. So I got it. I got it.
By the way, I have a question for you. Did you also feel like the mom did not like her either?
No, I didn't get that vibe. Well, unless I think because the mom, there's a scene that we skipped that the mom, she goes to talk to the mom in the kitchen, and the mom kind of is very aloof and was like, well, I guess I need milk. Can you go to the neighbors? And Erin's kind of thrown off by that.
I'm thinking, part of me's like, does the family just not like, you know, unique people with accents? Or is it just the mom is so, you know, just out of it as a person?
That's the one I'm thinking.
Got it.
Yeah, because there's some other points where Erin was like, "Oh, your mom's great," or "Your mom's adorable." She says that at one point. And she seems to want to get to know the mother. It doesn't seem like there's any animosity. It's just I think she might understand that the mom's dealing with some stuff.
And then V sees her. Z sees her. And she's like, hi. And she's just like, head check. You know, because she's so edgy.
So edgy.
So edgy. I have a question now. Do you think they actually wanted her to live?
Erin?
Yeah.
I think so, but they were banking on her being a regular, normal victim.
Yeah.
Not a bad bitch.
Because they were like, I like how they were like, we needed someone who was innocent. And Z. And like Z was allowed to be here. But we need someone that was like actually innocent. Because no one was going to believe her. Which just means she's been arrested.
Exactly.
Upon discovering Eric's corpse, Landmass throws her through the window and kills her with an axe into the side of the head. Oof.
Yeah. That was brutal.
Oof. By the way, does he punch her through the window? I looked away for like a second.
Yes, he punches her square in the face.
I will say this. She was an idiot most of this movie, but she learned the proper way to crawl on glass.
Yeah, by the elbows.
By the elbows.
Oh god, that looked painful.
More surface area. Imagine if you got glass on your funny bone.
Ooh, owie.
I know. Crispin leaves the house to look for help. Tiger Mask attacks Erin with an axe, but she crushes his skull by beating him with a meat tenderizer. Here we go. This is finally like the turning point, because the entire movie so far, it's been like, you could make the argument that the first attack with the knife was a fluke. It was just like she got that one moment, and then the movie's like, he throws Kelly through the window, like her body. It's a really good jump scare. Like, you did not see that jump coming, because I think they're just she goes, oh, we should all have weapons.
Yeah, she comes in with a bunch of weapons from the kitchen, like knives, the meat tenderizer, the cleaver, all that. And then we get the jump scare of Kelly coming through, and she falls to the ground. Slow-mo, the weapons go all over the ground.
Yep.
And
this is where I think the slow-mo is used for two good reasons here. The first one, I mentioned before, focus. The second one is to set you up thinking this awesome character is about to die, but then the twist is she's a bad bitch.
It's exactly that. The second slow-mo, or at least the second part of this one slow-mo scene, is the pivot point. This is where we get to see, okay, what is this character made of? Is she just going to be like a regular victim, or is she a bad bitch?
She makes, I think this is Tiger Mask right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is Tiger Mask. Tiger Mask, jocked up on just adrenaline. One kick between the legs, and he's wheezing as hard as he can be, even with adrenaline.
A freaking meat tenderizer right to the groin. Knee. Then she hits...
Oh, no, she kicks him first.
Oh, it's
the
kick.
kick's what did that.
You're right. It's the
kick that makes him wheeze.
Then she uses the tenderizer on the side of the knee. Fuck Oof. That. And then she gets him over the top of the head. He obviously
2 times.
2 or 3 times, right?
She double taps, and he goes down, and then she keeps beating him.
Yeah,
to make sure he's like dead.
He has a seizure the second hit, and he falls to the ground, and then she just goes ham.
And then I've seen this movie once before, but that was, holy crap, that was almost 10 years ago. Jesus.
I don't want to talk about it.
Listen, I've been playing like I'll go to a brief thing real quick. I've been playing Pokemon X again recently, and then I was like, oh wow, I haven't played this game in such a long time. I haven't played it since it came out. And I was like, oh my god, next year's 10 years.
Oh
Pokemon
shit.
X has come out. Next, like I think September is 10 years. September or October. But I just love how you were like, no, not her, and then it just
the pivot.
You got to watch it happen. You're like, oh, she's a bad bitch.
Oh, she's a bad bitch. Yeah, I knew there was moment. I knew the premise of the movie back when it came out. I was like, oh yeah, like the final girl's like a bad bitch. Cool. But it undersells her big time.
It really does. And to top it off, to show how like unaffected she is by this, she picks his head up and takes off his mask, and she's like, "So, anyone know him?"
Yeah. Yeah. This whole time this is happening, Felix and Z are on the other side of the room and they're just staring at her. They're like, "Oh, okay. All right. You're different."
It's like you're like they're like, "Okay, we got her. She's sweet. She's innocent. She was a TA. Like she can't be that,
She's a literature major. Like,
yeah." And then they were like, "Oh, so you're the main character."
yep.
We weren't anticipating this,
Yeah.
and our plan is super fucked.
Mm-hmm.
I love how it's like, we were going to let you live, and then the minute she kills the first one, they're like, okay, she has to go.
She's got to go. She's got to go. She's a problem.
And then this is also the moment where they're like, oh, yeah, we're sure Crispin's fine. And she's just like,
no, he's not.
No.
He's a pussy.
No, he's not. He's an idiot. You know what's weird? There's moments like this where it's like it stays in my head. And then it's like, Paul finds sleeping bags and food wrappers that indicate the killers have been staying in the house for some time. I forget that it jumps straight to that.
Yeah, because the dad went upstairs.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
He finds Felix and Z and starts to explain to them, only for Fox MaaH to slit his throat with the machete. It is then revealed that Felix and Z hired the assassins to murder the family so they can collect their inheritance.
A sign right before that happens is when the dad's coming down the hallway, you see behind him the fox, wolf, fox?
Let's say Tiger is currently dead. Sheep is about to get nailed in the foot. This is Fox.
Okay, so Fox is coming down the hallway, and then the dad opens the door, sees it inside, then closes it, and then you see Felix right over his shoulder. There was another scene when mom and dad are there, and the dad went to go check the second floor because the mom was upset. Another jump scare was...
One moment. I'm okay.
Okay. Crispin does a jump scare on the dad, so that just goes to show you right there that these two were in on the killings.
Yeah, totally. Oh, God. I was drinking some water, trying so hard not to get Blistex in my mouth because I don't want to be drinking Blistex. And, yeah, I choked. Sorry.
Okay.
Oof. One moment. Okay, I think that was the last one. You are looking at me with disgust. Landmask finds Tiger Mask's corpse and flips the dinner table over in rage. I think you were like, that was so unnecessary.
It was unnecessary.
I mean, I think it becomes more like understandable when you find out it's his brother.
Yeah.
He discovers a wounded Drake hiding, but retreats after Erin stabs him with a screwdriver.
Oh, yeah. The whole time after Kelly ran away, Drake pulled the arrow out of his back, and he passed out. So they...
Oh, right. I forgot that.
Yeah, so Erin and the dad put him in the kitchen, or the dining room to hide, and he finally woke up. The attacker was trying to get her, right?
Yes, he was doing The Shining.
Yes, because she went into the basement or the cellar or whatever to get more weapons, and he was about to get her, and then Drake comes out, and then she attacks them, the bad guy, trying to get Drake.
Yes. It is at this moment where, she's like, get some wood, get some nails. The boys go in the basement. The girls are about to, I think this is where the girls get some, this is where our girls get our context moment as to why Erin's a bad bitch.
Correct. So she instructed Z and herself to get the planks of wood, and they're going to put nails through the planks of wood as a booby trap.
And Z's like, okay, I have to ask now, how?
Yeah.
Because this is like, before, tenderizer, sure, you can just be a ruthless person. But the minute you make these types of traps, you know shit.
Oh yeah, exactly.
And then she's like, yeah, I was part of like a survivalist compound.
Yeah,
My dad was kooky.
Yeah, she says that her dad made her and her mom stay there until she was 15, and then in 15 she came to the States with her mom. But yeah, I was like, oh, okay, cool.
That's reason enough. Felix meets Drake in the basement and kills him out of pity by stabbing him with multiple screwdrivers. This was like, if it was a nicer character, I would feel bad. But I was like, kind of would feel like, can you just die already, dude?
Yeah, 100%. What was really interesting though is that Felix wants to stay quote unquote clean. He said that basically about when his dad was killed right in front of him, and now he puts on white gloves before he kills his brother. So nice little moments of character.
And also when his dad's blood gets on him and he's like so disgusted that he has blood on him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure Zia would be like, I want to bathe in this blood while we have sex in the bath in his blood.
Oh, God, yeah.
That's like what she is. She's a freak.
Oh, they'll probably mention it a little later. Or no, did it just happen?
No, because this happens when, what's his name gets that shit in his foot.
Oh, okay.
Landmass gets the thing in his foot.
Okay.
On the upper floor, Erin comes across Paul's body. And then we get bad bitch moment.
Oh,
Her bad bitch senses go off. She's like, there's another person in here. But I'm a bad bitch. So I know this. And Foxmaster's is like, I'm gonna get you. And she's like, haha, I proc in bad bitchness, so I'm gonna jump out of this window.
Yo, just fucking no questions asked, goes right through that window.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I like how you're just like, no questions asked. Question. What was the better jump? Was it this movie, Scream 3, or Nightmare on Elm Street 3?
That's a good question.
And I don't mean what follows. I just mean the form.
I'm going to say this one.
Well, I think, what's her name? Sydney just, like, leaps for her life, right. I think. Patricia Arquette does a flip out of a window.
She does. She has some pizzazz to that jump.
Erin just kind of, like, shoulder tackles,
yeah,
I guess.
Well, she's practical, right? She's just like, I need to get the fuck out of here.
She gets glass in her leg, though.
Oh, my God. And then she walks or hobbles into the woods and takes that glass out. It was a good, I don't know, 7 inches of thick glass that in her thigh.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And then she gets, what's his name? She almost gets,
Crossbowed.
Thank you. I was about to say harpoons, and I'm like, that's not the correct
Same
term
vein, but yeah.
And then she gets to the house, and she plays the ultimate trickery. Sheep Mask is like, Lamb Mask. It's like, oh, I see your little trick. I'm not gonna make sure not to step on these. Smart Girl put 2. He steps on 1.
Oof.
And he starts screaming, and I'm like, you know what, dude? Understandable.
That looked fucking painful. You get the sound of the squishing.
Yes.
Oh, God. Ugh.
Also, I don't think it was... So, I didn't start, like, when, or, like, ouch, when he stepped on it. It was when he started to hobble, and he had to keep putting pressure on the foot, because he kept, like, falling. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, that has to suck. Yeah. That can't feel good. Mm-mm. I was like, dude, just fall over. At this point, fall.
See, this is when you get, like, steel-toed boots type of thing. You know, just in case.
Oh, yeah. But also, you can tell these 3 are not smart.
No.
Like, didn't wear a cup. Mm-hmm. Which is, like, number 1, wear a cup. Didn't have Erin's shoes. And she didn't even know she was going to be in this predicament. Was more prepared.
I feel like they're not smart because they were not expecting any type of resistance from this family.
That's true, but also when you go to murder people in like Chuck Taylors, I'm going to start questioning you a little
Oh,
bit.
100%.
Because at that point, you can't even chase a person in chunks. They have no support.
100%. But again, I think that they thought they were going to be in complete control the entire time, so there's none of those precautions that need to be made.
Part of me does think, like, what's the explanation as to why they only kill, like, 8 out of the 12, and then they let the final 4 live?
Yeah.
Like, what's the explanation on that one? Sorry. While hiding, Erin overhears an argument between Felix, Z, Fox Mask, and Lamb Mask, where it was revealed that Lamb Mask and Tiger Mask were brothers. Okay, this is a few seconds before Z's like, let's fuck on your dead mom.
Yeah. Yeah. They're upstairs. Felix sits down on the bed with his mom right there, who's dead, cleaved to death. And then Z is just like, yeah, you never want to do anything interesting. Like, you don't want to fuck me with your mom right there on the bed.
And he's like, I don't agree with that. And she's like, fine. Then fuck me next to your dead mom. And he's like, no.
He's like, this conversation's over. And I'm like, this conversation should have never even began.
Began. I would have been like, okay, so I'll give you guys more of a cut. Can you kill her?
Yeah, please.
Because she's going to kill me.
Yeah.
Her cell phone beeps to indicate that her text to 911 has gone through, alerting the killers. She's able to ambush and kill Lamb Mask by stabbing him in the head.
This pissed me off so much. For someone who has the survival techniques that are coming into play here, she should have known to immediately put her phone on vibrate.
True, but I think it's that thing of the reception has been dead like all night.
True.
Even me, I'd be like, oh, there's no way this is going to get through. And even then, I have never got a phone message letting me know that a text went through.
Yeah. Well, unless this is specific because it's to 911.
That's true. Okay, I get you.
Yeah.
Also, this was 2013, and that girl still had like a Nokia flip phone.
They all had flip phones. No one had a smartphone.
I think, what's his name had a smartphone? Mm-mm. One of them did, because at the end, she has a screen.
It's one of the tiny ones.
Yeah.
You know which one, like it flips up type of thing?
Yes,
yeah.
I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
That last failed effort to where companies were like, we can be like Apple too.
Yeah.
Look at our screens. They're 3.5 inches. Crazy.
This is also when she finds out that Felix and Z are in on it.
Yes.
So.
And then how does she escape from the house again?
She punches the attacker in the throat.
You're right.
And then she dips.
Then she dips and they're like, let's go after her. And then 3 of them go to the left and Lamb Mask is smart. And he's like, what if she tracked back in?
Yep.
And she stabs him in the face.
Oh my God. Can we talk about this bad bitch moment? Can we talk about this? Okay.
We can talk about it because this is where she reaches her final evolution. She gets her bad bitch music.
Because all of the innocents are dead except her.
Yeah.
This is it.
Yes.
Yeah. She's the final girl. So the moment she turns into a final girl, she stabs this guy in the fucking head. No questions. He's done. And he was carrying the axe, right?
The axe mallet
combo pack.
Dual hybrid.
Yeah.
In a sense.
So she grabs that and she's holding it in the window. And her music starts to play.
You get the John Carpenter-esque music.
Yes.
It was very John Carpenter, I will admit.
No question. No question that was the inspiration. The lighting.
And then she's like, oh, yeah, the lighting was good.
Yeah.
The shot through the window.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Also, I love how she keeps getting more and more blood on her, but it's not like scarring blood. It's like, it's just like she becomes more badass with the more amount of blood that is on her body.
She's leveling up as she gets bloodier, and it's not her blood.
And unfortunately, this is the one part of the movie I didn't like. She didn't get to use that axe for long because she makes a trap out of it.
Yeah, same. I wish she walked around with it, but it's not practical for her.
It's not.
So, and I think she knew that.
Now comes probably like one of the best parts of the movie is so far this movie has had a lot of good parts. Just because you didn't mention it, camera work in this movie, really good.
Stunning.
Fox mask comes through the window.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, fuck, I set up this trap. Shit. She goes into the basement, and we get the cool shot of the camera flashing on and off, and he keeps going near the camera. And then she beats him to death with a log while the camera's flashing on, like, every hit.
Yes. Very, very well done. There was some really... it's not really used a lot, but very dramatic up angles. There were some that were skewed and up that you don't really see very much in film, and especially here in horror films. But it's to show that she has the fucking power right now.
And I remember you said before about the blood squelching. The blood squelching in this scene was
Oh,
oof.
God, yeah. When she's beating the shit out of him, yeah.
And even after, like, after it's done, I guess it's probably, like, squirting a little bit still.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you hear it, you're like, she just... You don't need to show me his face to let me know she just fucked him up.
Oh, 100%.
I can hear it, and I'm like, oh, God. You know what? I'd rather not look at his face.
Yeah.
You.
We get flashes, and we're like, oh, yep, that's all I need to see. Okay.
Leave the rest of my imagination, because
Please.
that sounds doing it for me. Felix... Oh, God. Z and Felix attempt to kill Erin themselves. And he's like, I shot her. It's like, dude, just because you pointed the crossbow at her and shot it does not mean you hit her.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a good fake out because she falls, and she's just smart to know, like, you get down.
Exactly.
But it looks like they maybe got her. Oh, here we go.
Is this when they
This is where the two of them are like, you know what?
Fuck it.
We can take on a bad bitch.
They're so arrogant.
Oh, my God. I'm like, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. She is a bad bitch, and you guys aren't shit.
Yep.
She just took out... Here's the thing. I was not ever really worried she was going to die with these other three guys.
Same.
I was like, yeah, they'll maybe get the jump on her for, like, a second. But then she's going to, like, you know, like, do, like, 3 backflips and roundhouse kick them, and then she'll be back to winning. For the dude with the crossbow and everyone who's, like, has, like, full-on weapons, like a full-ass machete. If I do not believe they stand a chance against her, you two don't have shit.
Oh, 100%. And the guys that he hired were veterans. They said, oh, you served together. So these guys are the ones that I would worry about. Now that the only ones that are left are, you know, Felix, Z, and, spoiler alert, Crispin, it ain't shit, you know?
So they decide, we're going to go attack her. And what we get... I remember before, I think I mentioned after, like, oh, God, this kitchen's so small. The fact that this kitchen was small made this set piece a lot better.
Absolutely.
Because they're like, oh, yeah, I kind of, like, jumped on her back. And she's, like, whooping... She whoops their asses.
Yeah.
This is a full-on, like, Taken ass-whooping scene.
Mm-hmm.
At no point was like, oh, they're going to kill her. I'm like,
how is she going to kill them?
how is she going to kill them? And will she let you take a shot on her?
Exactly.
I think the funniest one is she's like, she throws the soup on him.
Before she was boiling water or some sort of soup just in case as a precaution, and it got cold.
Yeah, but he slips.
Yeah,
like I think the
was
comedic
good.
part is he slips. He slips. She just kicks V's ass for a good few seconds.
Oh yeah, choking her to death.
And then he stabs her in the back.
Yeah. Oh, by the
And
way,
then
he went to the car, turned off the cell phone jammer, and picked up a fucking pocket knife. It was literally a pocket knife.
Listen, there's a pea-sized weapon in every movie we watched so far. Most of the time they've been pea pistols, but now we got a pea knife.
Yeah.
And she proceeds. First of all, I love how she kicks the door into him.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay, listen, I'm going to fuck him up, V, real quick, so I need you to be down. So she just grabs a pan and just, like,
Bam.
bats her.
Yep.
At that point, I know you start laughing hysterically.
It was great.
And then you're like, oh, she's not going to use the blender. She's not going to do it. There's no way. And then she uses it.
And I was like, oh, God, yeah, let's go.
And then I love how you're just like, she's not going to take the knife out of her back and stab V with it.
No,
is she?
I wanted that to happen. I was like,
I know.
you better, bitch.
But I was like, that's the ultimate bad bitch. That's finalized bad bitch moment.
Yeah. So she rips it out of the back of her shoulder. She does a little flourish.
Twirl.
And then sticks it right in Z's crown of her head.
And then she sits.
Deservingly.
And then Crispin calls.
Crispin calls Felix.
Yes.
And yeah.
Yeah, reveal, he's like, is everything dead? Is everybody dead? Is it done? Because I told you I was probably going to, like, not do this because,
He says he's a pacifist.
I'm a pacifist.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck off, bro.
He's like, I can hear you breathing. And he walks inside, and there she is.
Yep. Covered in blood.
Glory. With a knife. Mm-hmm. She's like, I've come back to the beginning.
Yep.
And he is like, so where's Felix? She's like, I killed him.
No. That's not what she says. She says,
oh, right.
I killed him with a blender. And he goes, oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, God. And then he's like,
how do you respond to that?
Exactly.
How do you respond to that? Like, I killed that person with a blender. You're like,
oh.
Can I look at that real quick?
And then
I just want to see.
And then he's like, oh, where's Z, by the way? And she's like, oh, I killed her too. And he's
That's
like,
understandable.
Understandable. Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, well, we're poor. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, he's trying to manipulate her, basically saying like, oh, you were never supposed to die. We were never supposed to get hurt. We wanted you to be the witness, someone who has absolutely no motive, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I could pay off those student loans. You could stop your bartending job, all that bullshit.
We could take a vacation.
Yeah, an engagement. And he's like, oh, or maybe not, whatever. And I'm just like, oh my God, this was so cringy.
But you knew how this ends.
Oh, I was waiting for it because he kept coming closer and closer. I'm like, do it, girl. Fucking do it.
And I love how it's like, there's like two options. And it's just like, no, there's a third.
Yep.
That you're not assessing, but she is fully committed to at this moment.
Oh, what is behind door number 3? What does she do?
A knife to the neck and to the eye.
Yep.
And then she gets shot.
Yeah, like immediately after she stabs him, she gets shot in the shoulder and falls down.
And I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
And then, no, in reality, we're like, fuck this cop.
Yeah, fuck the cops.
You shot the bad bitch. That's not allowed.
It's like, I get it.
But
he doesn't understand.
See, her bad bitch it procs even if she's not the one committing the bad bitchery.
Mm-hmm.
So she like telepathically like puts into his brain, you should go through the front door.
Not the window that's open right now.
The door.
That you're looking through. Go through the front door, buddy.
And he gets the trap. He gets trapped.
Yeah.
He gets the
axe
to
no,
the face.
no, and then right into the forehead.
In reality, she was like, no.
Don't do it, fucko.
Not the one guy who saw me killing a person.
Yeah.
Hence is why I'm like, you know what? She's probably safe now.
Oh, absolutely.
Because there's dudes in masks.
Yeah. In combat gear.
In combat gear. And I know they'll probably be like, I know she's going to be a suspect, but no shit. She's the only living one there.
During the credits, it has her Polaroid, and on the bottom it says suspect, ? So I guess more person of interest.
Which is awesome, because I'm like, there's no way in which she could really be blamed on this.
Right.
Like, could she say I killed people? Yes.
Yep.
But at the same time, it's like, who, like, are you really going to blame her for killing the 3 dudes in combat gear?
And she has proof. She has those guys. She has the cell phone jammer in Felix's car.
She probably has their records of like what they were planning to do.
Exactly.
So she's like safe.
Yeah.
She's like safe.
Yeah.
And the movie ends.
Yes, it does.
Also, I just want to go back to one thing real quick.
Sure.
When she kills the dude with the log.
Yeah.
I like how right when she's done, she's like standing there and all you hear is boom, 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 boom. I'm like, yes, play her music.
Yeah. It was great.
Play her music.
It was great.
But yeah, this movie. You know what? Quick question before we get into the roundup and everything. Are we doing a haunt this week?
Probably not. I mean, if we did, it would be pretty basic.
Yeah, it would be like, you see Erin in a car. You see Erin in the bathroom. You see Erin walking to a house.
Exactly. It wouldn't be a very exciting haunt. So
You see Erin choosing her wardrobe.
So
You
yeah,
see Erin creating her bad bitch character sheet.
let's just go ahead and get into the roundup without a haunt this time.
All right.
All right. All right, let's do the roundup for this. I'm going to say safe to say we both really liked this. For me, camera work was really well done slow-mo, which is a nice plus for me personally. Sound design with the squelching and the kills, really good. Lighting, very nice. Practical effects, all the blood and all the gore was very, very good. Set, good. The only thing that was lacking for me was a lot of the acting. But other than that, I'm going to say probably overall between an 8 and an 8.5.
Okay. I agree with you. The acting's kind of the one thing that is the kind of the downfall of this movie. At points. It's not even like consistent throughout the movie.
Right.
It's just certain points.
Right.
This is one of those movies that, fun fact, I'll reveal behind the scenes real quick. Paige has been pushing this since the show started.
Yeah, because I haven't seen it before.
This was like the one that you pushed. And even funner fact, your next and your like desire to want to watch your next is the reason why Home Invasions is a mini season.
All right.
I think it was because you're like, I want to do your next. I want to do your next. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay, well then it has to be Home Invasion at that point.
Because I've been wanting to watch it, and then I'm like, okay, so since we have a horror podcast, this might fit well. I'll hold off on watching it, and then we'll get to it at some point.
It took almost a year to get to it.
It's okay. I played the long con.
However, here's the thing. For a person who's waited like a 1 year to kind of get to this movie, how was it? Was it worth the wait?
Yes. Like I just said, I really enjoyed this. Really great take on a final girl. As we were watching, I said, is Erin becoming one of my favorite girls of all time, or final girls of all time? And I think that's going to hold true for a while until maybe we get to something that changes my mind.
It's going to be, I think to be resourceful and bad bitch and all that stuff, it's going to take a long time to get to this.
Yeah.
Now, to be just like one that you're a fan of, it'll probably come soonish.
Yeah. But it was a nice take on horror, and it was refreshing. So
now, I have one more question for you, because the last two movies, we have brought this up. So I think this is probably a good metric by how we're doing it. Part A of the question, would you watch it again? Part B of the question, would you watch it with friends?
Yes and yes. I think the only way I would watch it again would be with friends. Watching it by myself, this movie, fine. If it was the first time I've seen it and I watched it by myself, yes, of course. But I think part of the thrill is if you watch this movie with friends who've never seen it, you get to see the reactions. And that's always a fun thing to do with horror movies.
I think that's the problem with this movie is it's hard to watch again because once you know the twist, it's kind of like, okay, I'm here for the good time, but I also just want to see other people react to how I reacted when that twist happened.
For me, that's also like with Knives Out.
Yes.
It was great when I first watched it. I think me and my mom watched it together, and then now I'm like, well, I don't ever need to see it again ever because I know the whole thing is the twists. That's what gets you.
The good thing is this has other stuff besides the twist.
Oh,
that,
yeah.
Keeps going.
Yeah.
Now, I think I was surprised you gave it an 8 to 8.5 because I was actually going to give it a 7.5.
Okay.
I think it was just, I love it. And I think, I think when it comes to rating at the end of all the home invasion movies where this would rank, it may be the top. It very well may be the top. The one downside for someone like me is I'm not a fan of home invasion movies.
Right.
So there's that like predisposition of it's probably going to maybe not rank as high because I'm not that target audience. The acting was enough to get it very weird for me at moments. The camera, while I liked it, there were some moments where it had the unintentional Scream 4 effect on the camera,
Ah, okay.
where it kind of like, like, it has like that weird
Yeah.
like haze film.
Yeah, I can see that.
But I can get why you would give it an 8 to an 8.5. I 100% get why. For me, 7.5 is where I will probably lie, which is the highest of
I was gonna say,
the
that's pretty
3
high.
movies we've done so far.
Mhm.
I think I maybe gave Strangers a 6 or a 7. So it's definitely higher.
But yeah, so I'm glad we had a good one. We had Strangers that I like, and you liked it somewhat as well. And then we just got this one. So I hope the next couple of movies are just as enjoyable, or at least not as bad as Vacancy.
I think the next movie the next movie is what Strangers were for you.
Okay.
How you were like, we need the Strangers.
Got it.
Yes, I'll have paranoia for the next 5 days, even when I rewatch this movie. But we need to have it. And for me, it was, I had to convince you to add the next movie to the list.
Yeah.
I think it's because your mom was
Yeah.
like, it's terrifying.
Yeah.
And you have me in the corner just like, how? It's not scary. It's funny.
Again, there's some things that creep, like, even if it's funny, some things creep people out in a different way. So
Yeah.
we'll have to see when we get there. But for now, thanks for joining us, everybody. We're here on Spotify. We're also on YouTube. Please like, rate, subscribe, talk to us, shoot us some comments, do all the good stuff. And yeah, join us next time for People Under the Stairs. Let's go on this
Wes
ride.
Craven.
Yeah. All right, guys. Bye.
Bye.
5 innocent people killed. Not a sign of a human